Why did Jimin suddenly stop in the middle of the concert, and who was the little fan that made the entire stadium emotional that night? Loudly crying face purple heart. Armies around the world still can't move on from one viral moment that is now spreading everywhere online. And honestly, what Jimin did this time was something nobody expected. Before we get into the full story, make sure to like this video, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe right now to Jikook Lover because this channel covers the most emotional, mysterious, and viral BTS moments that many people completely miss. Because that night, it wasn't just another concert. There were tears. There was a strange moment that nobody understood at first. There was one simple sentence from Jimin that suddenly made thousands of fans cry together, and now armies everywhere are asking the same question. Why did Jimin look so emotional when he gave away his favorite hat? That night started like any normal concert. The stadium lights were glowing brightly, the screams of ARMY echoed endlessly through the arena, and thousands of light sticks turned the entire place into a moving galaxy under the dark sky. Everyone came with the same dream. They wanted to see Jimin up close. They wanted to experience a moment they would never forget for the rest of their lives. But nobody expected that in the middle of all the excitement, one tiny moment would suddenly become one of the most emotional and viral moments of Jimin's entire concert history. It all started when Jimin slowly walked toward one side of the stage where fans were screaming his name. People were holding banners, recording videos, crying, and waving their army bombs, desperately hoping he would notice them for even 1 second. Then suddenly, Jimin stopped. Not because the music stopped, not because of a technical issue, not because security interrupted the show. His attention suddenly locked onto someone in the crowd. At first, nobody understood what he was looking at. Even the concert cameras almost missed the moment completely. But a few seconds later, fans near the barricade realized there was a young baby army crying in the crowd. And somehow, Jimin noticed. The entire energy of the moment changed instantly. Videos from different angles quickly began spreading across TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. In those clips, Jimin could be seen looking toward the same direction multiple times, almost like he was trying to make sure of something. Fans close to the stage later claimed that Jimin asked the staff a question about the child. Is she crying? That simple sentence has now gone viral worldwide. Nobody knows exactly what Jimin was thinking in that moment. But according to fans nearby, his expression completely softened the moment he realized the little fan was crying in the middle of the huge crowd. And what happened next completely shattered the internet. Instead of simply waving at the child like most artists would do during a concert, Jimin did something nobody expected. He asked the staff to take the cowboy hat he had been wearing during the show. The same hat that had already become one of the most talked about accessories of the night because fans loved his entire look. At first, people thought he was just adjusting his outfit. But seconds later, the staff walked directly toward the crying baby army, carrying Jimin's hat. The stadium exploded. Fans screamed everywhere. Some people instantly started crying. Others couldn't even believe what they were seeing. And in the middle of all the noise, fans claimed Jimin softly said something that made the moment even more heartbreaking. Don't cry. Just 2 words. But those 2 words are now being called one of the sweetest things Jimin has ever said during a concert. Within minutes, social media became flooded with edits, clips, screenshots, and emotional reactions. Many fans said they had never seen Jimin look that gentle before. Others believed the moment revealed a side of him that cameras rarely capture. But the more viral the moment became, the more questions started appearing. Why did Jimin pay so much attention to that little fan? Why was he willing to give away his favorite hat? And why did he look so emotional afterward? Some armies connected the moment to Jimin's well-known emotional personality. Over the years, fans have often noticed how sensitive he is to the feelings of others. There have been countless moments where Jimin quietly comforted people without making it a big public scene. People started remembering old moments again. The times Jimin noticed crying fans at airports. The times he quietly helped staff members. The moments when he looked deeply emotional during speeches. And suddenly, fans began wondering if what happened that night was more personal than anyone realized. Then things became even more emotional after a comment from someone believed to be the baby army's mother started spreading online. According to the message, her daughter had loved Jimin for years and had desperately hoped he would come closer to their side during the concert. As the show was almost ending and Jimin still hadn't approached their section, the child started crying. But at the very last moment, Jimin came. And not only did he come closer, he gave her something he was personally wearing himself. That comment instantly spread across fan communities worldwide. Thousands of fans admitted they cried while reading it. Some even called it one of the most genuine idol and fan interactions they had ever witnessed. But hidden inside all the emotions was another detail that made people even more curious. Several videos showed Jimin staring toward the child for a few extra seconds before giving away the hat. Fans claimed his expression looked unusually emotional, almost worried. And once the internet noticed that detail, the theories began. Some believed Jimin was reminded of his own childhood. Others thought he simply couldn't stand seeing children cry. A few fans even wondered if Jimin himself had already been emotional throughout the concert before this happened. Because if people looked closely, there were already moments during the show where Jimin seemed quieter than usual. At certain points, he smiled softly while staring into the crowd as if he was thinking deeply about something. That observation only fueled more speculation. Was that concert night secretly more emotional for Jimin than fans originally realized? Meanwhile, the video continued breaking view records online. TikTok became flooded with slow-motion edits of Jimin pointing toward the crying fan. Emotional music was added to every clip. Even people outside the BTS fandom started talking about it. And as always happens on the internet, theories started becoming even bigger. Some armies became convinced that the cowboy hat wasn't just a random accessory. Fans noticed that Jimin had worn it multiple times during important concert moments. Some believed it had become one of his favorite items during the tour. If that's true, then giving it away meant something much deeper. Because Jimin wasn't simply handing out merchandise. He gave away something personal, something he had worn himself, something connected to that exact night. And maybe that's why people still can't move on from the moment. Some fans even said they had never seen Jimin give such a personal gift directly to a fan during a massive concert before. The reaction of the baby army, who looked completely shocked and emotional, made the entire scene feel almost unreal. But the deeper fans analyzed the clips, the more emotional details they found. There was one moment where Jimin appeared relieved after seeing the hat safely reach the child. Another video showed fans around the baby army crying and hugging each other after witnessing what happened. At that point, the concert no longer felt like just a performance. It became something bigger, a reminder of why BTS and ARMY's connection has always felt different from ordinary artist and fan relationships. And maybe that's why the internet still refuses to stop talking about it. Because in a world where entertainment often feels scripted, this moment felt painfully real. But the biggest question still hasn't truly been answered. And strangely, that question only made the story grow even bigger overnight. Because after the concert ended, fans didn't stop talking about the performance itself. They weren't discussing the choreography, the vocals, or even the stage production anymore. Everywhere online, people were replaying the exact same moment again and again, the second Jimin noticed the crying child in the crowd. Some fans slowed down the videos frame by frame. Others tried enhancing the audio to hear exactly what Jimin said. And somehow, every new angle made the entire situation feel even more emotional. One particular clip began spreading rapidly because it appeared to show Jimin looking back toward the child even after the hat had already been delivered. Fans immediately noticed the expression on his face. He wasn't smiling widely like idols usually do during fan interactions. Instead, he looked strangely soft, almost emotional himself. That tiny detail changed everything. Armies immediately began asking, was Jimin trying not to cry too? The theories exploded instantly. Some fans believe the moment hit Jimin harder because he saw how deeply fans emotionally depend on BTS during difficult times. Others thought the child reminded him of the younger fans who grew up listening to BTS through painful moments in their lives. And then another theory appeared that made the internet even more emotional. What if Jimin understood exactly how much that moment would mean to the child forever? Because for many fans, BTS was never just music. For years, people have shared stories about how BTS helped them through loneliness, depression, heartbreak, anxiety, and difficult family situations. And among all the members, Jimin has often been described as someone who naturally notices emotions faster than others. That's why many fans now believe this wasn't simply a random act of kindness. They think Jimin genuinely couldn't ignore the tears once he saw them. Meanwhile, fan accounts that attended the concert started sharing even more unseen details from that night. Some claim the child looked completely overwhelmed before Jimin noticed her. Others said nearby fans were already trying to comfort the baby army moments before the interaction happened. And suddenly, the story transformed into something much larger than a viral concert clip. It became symbolic. People started calling it the moment Jimin protected a baby army. That phrase alone spread across social media like wildfire. Millions of fans reposted it. Edits flooded TikTok. Reaction videos appeared everywhere. Even casual listeners who didn't follow BTS closely admitted the moment made them emotional. But then, something unexpected happened. As the story became more emotional online, some fans began debating whether moments like this placed too much emotional pressure on idols themselves. Because while everyone focused on the crying child, others quietly noticed how emotionally exhausted Jimin himself looked throughout parts of the concert. Some fans pointed out the way he paused between songs. Others noticed how long he stared into the audience during quieter moments. A few even believed his smile seemed different that night, happier in some moments, but heavier in others. That led to an entirely new conversation online. Was Jimin okay emotionally that night? It may sound dramatic, but longtime fans know that Jimin has always been incredibly open with emotions compared to many other idols. Throughout BTS's career, he has spoken honestly about pressure, perfectionism, and emotional struggles behind the scenes. So naturally, some armies wondered whether seeing the crying child affected him more deeply because he himself was already emotional. And honestly, nobody truly knows. But what made fans even more emotional was realizing how natural the interaction felt. There was no hesitation, no performance, no dramatic announcement to the crowd. Jimin simply saw someone hurting and reacted instinctively. That authenticity is exactly why the moment keeps getting bigger instead of fading away. Because fans believe moments like this cannot be faked. And then another detail surfaced online that shocked everyone even more. Some fans claimed that after receiving the hat, the child immediately stopped crying and smiled through tears while hugging it tightly. Nearby audience members reportedly began crying too after witnessing the scene happen live. That image alone shattered the internet emotionally. A tiny fan holding Jimin's cowboy hat while crying in the middle of a massive stadium. For many armies, it instantly became one of those unforgettable BTS moments that people will still talk about years from now. But perhaps the most surprising part of all this is how one tiny interaction completely overshadowed the scale of the concert itself. Huge performances happened that night. Massive stage effects, powerful vocals, screaming crowds. Yet the thing people remember most is Jimin quietly saying, "Don't cry." And maybe that says everything about why BTS continues to affect people differently than most artists. Because sometimes it isn't the biggest performances that stay in fans' hearts forever. Sometimes it's the smallest moments. One glance, one sentence, one act of kindness. Still, not everyone interpreted the moment the same way. As discussions grew online, some fans began wondering whether Jimin had planned to give away the hat before noticing the child. Others argued that the entire thing was purely spontaneous and emotionally driven. A few even questioned whether Jimin realized just how viral the moment would become afterward. Because now, that cowboy hat is no longer just an accessory from a concert. To fans, it has become symbolic of something much deeper. Comfort, connection, kindness, and the emotional bond between BTS and ARMY. Some fans even joke that the hat now deserves its own museum display because of how legendary the moment has become online. But underneath the jokes and emotional edits, there's still one haunting detail people cannot stop thinking about. Out of tens of thousands of fans in that stadium, how did Jimin notice one crying child? The arena lights were blinding. The crowd was massive. The noise was overwhelming. And yet somehow he saw her. That single detail continues making fans emotional because it reinforces something armies have believed about Jimin for years. He notices things other people miss. And perhaps that's exactly why this moment refuses to disappear from the internet. Because deep down, many fans aren't just reacting to a celebrity giving away a hat. They're reacting to the feeling of being seen. And for countless people watching online, that's what made the moment so powerful. Especially in today's world, where fans often feel invisible in huge crowds, seeing someone like Jimin stop everything for one emotional child felt strangely personal, even for people who weren't there. But now the debate inside the fandom is becoming even bigger. Some fans believe this interaction may become one of the defining emotional moments of Jimin's solo era. Others think it reveals something deeper about the direction Jimin himself is emotionally moving toward as an artist and person. And perhaps the most mysterious part of all, Jimin himself has not fully talked about the moment publicly yet. No long explanation, no detailed statement, no clarification, just the videos, the tears, the hat, and those two unforgettable words, "Don't cry," which now leaves the entire fandom asking one final question. Was this simply a beautiful, spontaneous moment during a concert? Or was it one of the rare times fans accidentally witnessed the real emotional side of Jimin that he usually tries to hide from the world? Loudly crying face Purple Heart.